I want to play a clip from Bernie Sanders yesterday, Colin, if you have it. Thankfully, I mean, maybe he's finally watching Status Coup. He's been going on offense, which we've been telling him to do for a long time. But he held a press conference yesterday. Didn't really hold back on Joe Manchin, but he also, had some words for Senator Sinema too, if you have that, Colin.
What I would say is this, and I know a lot of the media talks about, compromise and all that stuff. We got 48 senators who support $3.5 trillion. We got 2 who do not. It is really not playing fair that 1 or 2 people think that they should be able to stop what 48 members of the Democratic caucus want, what the American people want, what the President of the United States wants. That would be my position.
So you called out Senator Manchin. Would you also like to see specificity from Senator Sinema?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Senator, as I understand it, I'm not privy to everything here. In some cases, you guys know more than I do. But I don't think that's, I think Senator Sinema's position has been that she doesn't, quote unquote, negotiate publicly. And I don't know what that means. We don't know where she's coming from. What I have heard, and I don't know if this is accurate, this is a problem. I have heard that she is opposed to having Medicare negotiate prescription drug prices with the pharmaceutical industry and lowering prescription drug prices. I have heard that she is opposed to asking the wealthy and large corporations to pay their fair share of taxes. That is what I have heard. Maybe I'm wrong. But I think to answer your question, yeah, I would love to see her. In the same sense as Senator Manchin, tell us what you want and don't want. Thanks very much.
So what did you take from that? Because it is pretty bizarre to just basically try to run out the clock, not say what you want, not say what you're for. To me, my read of it is she's not saying it because it's really not defensible. So she's just kind of trying to run out the clock and make it normalized and just allow it to be normalized that she won't talk. What do you get from what Bernie Sanders said?
I think he hit the nail on the head. And the thing is that Arizona knows. Sinema generally doesn't take clear positions on anything where she has to put a stake on the ground on one side or the other. She'll take open positions on things that are non-controversial, things that everybody can agree on, but she won't even get involved in things that may be partisan. Like she cares about veterans. Who doesn't care about veterans, honestly? That's a bipartisan, like making sure the veterans are taken care of, the VA is funded. She doesn't stake her I don't know what the word I'm looking here for is, but she doesn't choose a side in that capacity. And Bernie said that she doesn't want to raise taxes. That in itself, it goes against what Arizonans believe, because just last November, we passed a ballot initiative to tax our state's highest earners to fund public education. And that passed by a larger margin of victory than Sinema in 2018.
So let me ask you broader than Sinema. Obviously, you've been paying attention. There's been a little, battle royale in the progressive movement, I'd say, since Biden came in. You have people who I guess are just fed up and don't think even the things, the squad are doing are enough. Think they've, I've said in many cases, they folded the tent pretty quickly. In this case, I'm happy to see they've been holding the line. So there's a lot of people that have kind of just said, screw it with electoral politics. I'm done. We're just going to do direct action and things like that. And then there's others have said, the two aren't mutually exclusive. You could focus on more things at once and, let's not cancel every politician who doesn't do what we want 1,000% of the time. Obviously, you're running at the state legislature level, but what have you thought about that? Because it seems to me, I don't know. I think it's a good thing. I criticize them when they should be criticized, but I think it's a good thing that finally you've seen the progressives, the squad, Pramila Jayapal, Ro Khanna, actually coordinated. They didn't blink when it came to voting for the bipartisan infrastructure deal, which is essentially just privatization on steroids. The media doesn't talk about that, but that $500 billion deal, because it's really only $500 billion in new money, is privatization. What do you think? Because I see some progress here. but a lot of people say, it's just theater. It's all for show.
There's definitely progress. And if you just look at this whole moment that we're in and how we got here and like what we've accomplished in just 10 years, over 22 million people between 2016 and 2020 voted for an open democratic socialist candidate for president in the United States of America. That in itself is huge. Every single pillar of Bernie Sanders' platform is pretty much a litmus test for anyone who runs for local, state, or federal office. That's one of the first questions people have is like, where do you stand on healthcare? Do you support universal healthcare and Medicare for all? Bernie's platform is a litmus test. We've continued to grow a progressive caucus. We're learning to collectively organize together and not bend and use the powers that be. And the powers that be are organizing together in both direct action and in the political space, because it's important that we get involved and we push people in both areas. Solidarity gets the goods, and both are equally important. Voting is one passive way to create change, but it is necessary to create agitation and organize and do direct action as well, because that moves dialogue forward, that moves society forward. So they work hand in hand. So I'm very hopeful of where we're going to go and what we're going to accomplish in the next 5 to 6 years.
And lastly, you're running for office yourself. Can you give people kind of the details of what you're running for? When is the election? And, what are the main issues you're running on there?
I'm running for Arizona State Representative for the downtown Phoenix area. Right now, it's Legislative District 24. It's right in the heart of Phoenix. There are 2 Democratic incumbents. One has taken more of a Sinema approach to governing and has not had very many good relationships with local community organizations. And through my conversations with community leaders and community organizers, I made the decision to run for state rep because I know that once we get in there, I could help push policies forward that will impact people's lives at a lot quicker pace than Congress. And it's important to use the state legislature as an organizing space. And that's something I don't think state legislators have done historically in the past. We've seen like how powerful it is when a member of Congress leads actions like Cori Bush did just a few weeks ago, extending the eviction moratorium. I'd like to do things similar to that at the state legislature. Whether or not we're in the minority or the majority party, we still should be talking unapologetically to issues, especially in liberal districts like the one that I am running in. They move things forward. Issues that I am running on are, restoration of the right to vote for all presently and formerly incarcerated people, supporting publicly funded elections, expanding polling locations, expanding mail-in voting, automatic voter registration, working to repeal our state's right to work law if we don't get the PRO Act passed, which would be tragic in itself, instating 12 weeks paid maternity leave for all workers, raising the state minimum wage to $15 an hour. We're just a few bucks short of that now at $12.15 an hour. Increasing the housing trust fund and making it explicitly available to undocumented folks, and ensuring that we fund public education and make sure that teachers have the resources necessary to teach our leaders of tomorrow. Reduce class sizes, support funding to repair the crumbling infrastructure in Arizona public schools. This means like buses, technology, common sense things.